Hi guys, it's your faculty Ranganathan Eswen Kontala on this Unacademy UPSC Articulate. Now I'm back again, continuing the series of Indian history, personalities, and in today's session we're going to discuss about another very important female personality who has impacted Indian history, India's national struggle to the core, and she is our one and only Beena Das. You would have heard about Beena Das and her contributions when you're actually studying about Surya Sen and his Chittagong Armory raid. Now, Beena Das was actually a very instrumental leader in the Chittagong Armory raids along with Pritilata Vadedar. Now, let us see who she is. In fact, in February 1932, in the convocation hall of the University of Calcutta, the outgoing British governor of Bengal, Stanley Jackson, was actually delivering a speech to a completely packed hall of fresh graduates. One of the female graduates, a female student, had actually snugged in a gun, a loaded revolver, concealing it in her graduation gown. She just stood up and fired. She killed the governor of Bengal, Stanley Jackson. This lady is Beena Das. Her bravery was unprecedented, unseen, unthought of. ग्रेजुएशन सेरेमनी में अंदर गाउन में बंदूक ले जाके डाल दिया. यह है बीना दास. हर गट्स आर अनप्रेसिडेंटेड. नाउ देखते हैं कौन है ये. बीना दास इंडियन रेवोल्यूशनरी है, नेशनलिस्ट फ्रॉम वेस्ट बंगाल. She was daughter of a very famous Brahmo teacher, Beni Madhav Das, and a social worker, Sarla Devi. So background भी अच्छा था. पापा फादर ब्रह्मो टीचर थे, मदर सोशल वर्कर थी. एंड she belonged to Chittagong, East Bengal, present day Bangladesh. In fact, Beena and her family had moved around a fair bit before settling in South Calcutta, Ekdalia region. Ekdalia, South Calcutta में सेटल होने से पहले ये काफी घूम चुके थे बंगाल पूरा. Beena Das's sister Kalyani Das was also a very famous revolutionary, and Kalyani was a member of the Chhatri Sangha, semi-revolutionary organization of women in Calcutta. Calcutta में एक सेमी रेवोल्यूशनरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन था, छात्री संघ, उसकी एक मेंबर थी. In 1930, she led a protest of female students against the governor of Bengal. She was arrested for her anti-governor activities in 1932. तो घर में बचपन से ही रेवोल्यूशन, क्रांतिकारी विचार कॉमन. पापा ब्रह्मो, मदर सोशल वर्कर, also teacher, and sister is a semi sort of revolutionary. Her classmate, another renowned freedom fighter, was Kamala Das Gupta, जो कि इसी पीरियड में अरेस्ट हुई थी. Kamala Das Gupta was also very famous revolutionary of this region. On the 6th of February, Beena attempted to assassinate the governor Stanley Jackson in the Convocation Hall of the University of Calcutta. रिवॉल्वर कमला दास गुप्ता दोस्त ने दिया था. स्पेशल ट्रिब्यूनल कन्वेन्ड टू जज हर सेंटेंस for 9 years of rigorous imprisonment on charges of attempted murder under Section 307 of Indian Penal Code. 2 साल बाद, couple of years later, she was released. Beena came out and she joined Congress Party. 1942 में she participated in the Quit India movement, was imprisoned again in 1942 to 1945. 46 में she became again active. She was a member of the Bengal Provincial Legislative Assembly. Bengal के provincial elections में participate किया था, member हो गई थी 1947 to 51. She was a member of the West Bengal Legislative Assembly. काफी nationalist, active member of parliament, politically very active. Even after independence, the revolutionary Bina Das's struggle was far from over. In fact, between 51 to 52, she was the workers' union of prominent Calcutta newspaper Amrit Bazar Patrika started an agitation demanding better working conditions and pay for the people. I mean, उस time में the much publicized policy of Congress, ruling Congress party in the center, was amelioration of the object conditions of working class. The party sided with the management. In fact, Congress भी socialist विचार की थी, but still Congress sort of joined the ruling management. Do not work for the workers. Bina was the head of the trade union and sided with the workers. I mean, so basically, even after independence, she started fighting. She started taking the rights of the workers to the mainstream platform. Partition के बाद, when the refugees of East Bengal were sent off Dandakaranya in Madhya Pradesh and barred from settling in Calcutta, Bina Das and Bhaumik both refused their freedom fighter pensions from the Congress government at the center. In fact, she fought even for the rights of the migrants who were coming from East Bengal as a result of the partition. Bina would eventually go on to spend some time teaching in schools. And 1986 May, after the death of her husband, her life began to unravel. In fact, she isolated herself, refusing to meet even the closest friends and family. Ultimately, Bina Das left Calcutta, went off to Rishikesh near Uttarakhand, where she actually lived in penury. I mean, बिल्कुल बिना कोई खर्चा पानी का, बिना कोई popularity pomp. She just died in anonymity. In fact, she died almost destitute. 1947, she married Jagdish Chandra Bhaumik, an Indian activist, very important member of the Yugantar group, another big revolutionary group of the early 20th century. After the death of her husband, Das led a lonely life in Rishikesh. She eventually died in anonymity. Her body was recovered from roadside on the 26th of December, Boxing Day, December, in almost partially decomposed state. Her sister, Kalyani Das, later became Kalyani Bhattacharjee, edited a book called Bengal Speaks, eventually dedicated it to her. In 1960, Bina Das was given a Padma Shri for her social work. In 2012, finally, Bina Das and another revolutionary friend of Bina, Pritilata Vadedar, well known for Pahartali European Club massacre, where she took a gun, went into Pahartali European Club and shot down British officers. The same Pritilata Vadedar and Bina Das were conferred graduation certificates posthumously, obviously, after their death. Nearly 80 years after the British government withheld their certificates. 80 years, government did not, I mean, Indian government did not. That's Bina Das. Very few women have left such important life to study for. She was a nationalist. She was revolutionary. And she was very, very active, even after independence. She worked for the rights of Indians. Then she worked for the rights of the workers. Now, that's one side of the story. There is another woman. I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't have even heard of this lady, क्योंकि इनके बारे में कोई बुक में बताते भी नहीं है. My source is in reality Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the festival which Government of India celebrated in August 2022. Now, her name is Gulab Kaur. You always remember her as a revolutionary lady who worked with Gadar movement. गदर पार्टी की बहुत बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट मेंबर थी. आई मीन शी वाज instrumental and formidable in making Gadar movement successful. Gulab Kaur was an Indian freedom fighter, primarily worked for Indian freedom struggle from Philippines, remotely in Manila, Philippines, and she started in Philippines, Manila, and then she continued her work in India. Although Indian history always fails to highlight the role of women in freedom struggle, they have been playing a very pivotal role in the movement. Many of them, in fact, sacrificing their lives for the country. One such Sikh woman was Gulab Kaur. Gulab Kaur was very successful in mobilizing Indian immigrants in the conquest for free India from British rule. Bibi Gulab Kaur, she belonged to the Bakshiwala village in the Sangrur district of Punjab. बहुत छोटी उम्र में शादी कर दी गई थी. She was married off very early. Man Singh was her husband. And eventually, since दोनों बहुत ही गरीब खानदान से, very poor family, and several farmers like them went to look out for better jobs and better positions due to British policies back then. So I mean, Man Singh, her husband, and she both शुरू में तो they thought of migrating to America for an improved life, but eventually went to Manila first because in those days Manila sort of was an American colony anyway. So along with 50 other Gadarites, this lady, once she went abroad, she became involved with freedom struggle. Along with the 50 other Gadarites, she went to India by sailing through SS Korea and Toshamaru ships. She was very active in the villages of Kapurthala, Hoshiarpur, and Jalandhar. In fact, Gulab Kaur was arrested at Lahore at the fort called Shahi Kila, and despite this, she continued her war work and did not surrender to the British tyranny. Obviously, she was perpetually tortured for 2 years. Gulab Kaur eventually died in 1941 as a result of an illness for all the things that she suffered. Manila mein, after she went to Manila in search of better livelihood, she attended the lectures of an organization by Sikh Punjabis called the Gadar Party. Remember, Gadar Party was very active across the world. And she founded an aim to liberate the subcontinent from the British rule. Baba Hafiz Abdullah, Fajja Baba, Baba Banta Singh, Baba Harnam Singh, Indila Baba inspired her to this movement. And eventually, Gadar movement became very active in British colonies of Asia. Hong Kong, America, Hong Kong, Singapore, Philippines, even America and Canada. So she became very instrumental in this. Her aim with the Gadar Party and was very similar to liberate India from the tyranny of the British. Particularly with a press pass in hand, as showing herself as a journalist. Gulab Kaur distributed arms to the Gadar Party members, guns. इनफैक्ट इसके लिए ये लोग जर्मनी का हेल्प ले रहे थे. They were taking better guns, pistols from Germany and distributing among their people. Kaur was greatly stimulated by the work of the party and asked people around her to join Gadar Party. Gulab Kaur would follow other party members across Philippines, give these motivational speeches, circulate newspaper Gadar newspaper, even the paper, famous paper Gadar ki Goonj, इन्होंने spread किया था. Eventually, because of her, it led to increase in the Manila unit of Gadar party. She also distributed arms, ammunition to the passengers. In fact, whenever Gulab Kaur would notice that some people are getting demotivated and would decide to back up the struggle, she would eventually, take अपने कंगन निकाल देती थी. She would remove her bangles from her left hand and say, if anyone retreats from this rare opportunity to fight for the cause of motherland, he should wear these bangles and sit aside. हम औरतें ही जंग छेड़ देंगे, कंगन पहन के बैठ जाओ. That was her style. She used to tell anybody who backs up, she used to remove her bangles and give it and say, You wear the bangle, we women will take care of this struggle. Much after the Gadar party lost its prominence, was suppressed across Asia, she came back to India, decided to be part of the resistance of Punjab itself. Although this never really happened, as she had to leave her husband, who decided to leave to America. In fact, she could have had a comfortable life in America, along with her husband Man Singh. But Gulab Kaur nahi gayi. Hindustan mein rahi. She kept on fighting. She died in 1941 as a result of an illness. In fact, it's a bad luck that this lady's life is not even documented to a proper extent. Some of her works that cover, some of the works which cover her life are Gadar Di Dhi Gulab Kaur, in Punjabi written by Kesar Singh, and a play called Ghukra Charka, Spinning Wheel is going on, written by popular writer Ajmer Singh Aulakh. It's regrettable that many freedom fighters, many of them who sacrifice their lives and sacrifice their everything, are actually often forgotten. And history has been merciless in ignoring them. Kaur is one such woman who dedicated her entire life to India's freedom, despite all her hardships, leaving a permanent mark as a brave martyr in India. That's the story of Gulab Kaur. Guys, in my experience of teaching, many students do ask me, sir, why an academy? An academy के कुछ खासियत है. अभी तो, I mean, for those who have the comfort of online can always get online. Plus, you want offline, we do have offline as well in Delhi, soon in many places. One biggest flexibility that you get with an academy के साथ is you can actually change course. I mean, आप टाइमिंग, बैच का टाइमिंग, कोर्स का टाइमिंग, आप अपने मर्जी से आपके लिए जो भी फ्लेक्सिबल है उसके हिसाब से आप बदल सकते हैं. All lectures, all classes in an academy have unlimited views. You can attend live, आप live भी attend कर सकते हैं, or you can also get video recording. The best part is dedicated doubts solving sessions. इससे in fact we even have doubts batches in an academy. So इससे benefit ये है कि your doubts get cleared timely, quickly and properly. Plus, an academy sessions, an academy with subscriptions now also gives completely printed comprehensive notes, classes, test series, materials, mentorship, one-on-one guidance, till last mile, अंत तक, until your interview. हमारी responsibility, an academy responsibility. One-on-one mentorship is possibly one of the best part of an academy. So you get very close watch of exactly what your house preparation is going, and we can sort of fine tune it to do your best result. ऊपर से answer writing sessions we have for mains. Then we, along with we educators, we also have mentors. ऐसे थोड़ी ना 170 plus toppers आए 2020 में and 197 in 2021. It's never late to take the right decision. Subscribe to an Academy Plus. Use the subscription code Srivanar. That's SRIVENR. दो बेनिफिट है आपको. एक तो डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, ऊपर से बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट भी मिलेगा. That's it from me today, guys. You have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.